Hi, it's Michelle. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Michelle. I make videos about books. Please hit the subscribe button. It really helps my channel grow. In this video, I will simply be reading some romance books that are new releases that I have been really looking forward to. And they all just happen to come out around the same time, which is great for me. So I'm just gonna go over the books I will be reading and then we will go into the vlog as usual. So the first one is Love Theoretically by Ali Hazelwood. I have read her two other books. I have not read the novellas yet. Lexi hated the novellas. That means nothing to me. I have the novellas. I just haven't read them yet. I have read The Love Hypothesis and Love on the Brain. So of course I will be reading Love Theoretically. I know that all her books are exactly the same. Does not bother me. Next is Business or Pleasure by Rachel Lynn Solomon. I absolutely love Rachel Lynn Solomon. Actually, her favorite book of mine is Today, Tonight, Tomorrow, which is her YA. I still think it is her best book. I am buddy reading this with my friend Aoife from Pretty Purple Polka Dots. I'm actually currently in the middle of this. So, it's going well. I'll let you know. The next one is Forget Me Not by Julie Soto. This is a debut. This is another Rilo? I don't know that ship name. I don't know anything about that ship, but it's like the same as Ali Hazelwood's Love Theory, like what she does. So like little woman, big man kind of thing. I know nothing about this. I did get the audiobook free from Libro FM, part of their ALC program. So I was very excited to get this from my local bookstore, part of the romance book club thing that I am in. I love this cover. And then last but definitely not least is The 7 Year Slip by Ashley Poston. I read Dead Romantics, I think this year or the very end of last year, but the book came out in a video this year where Casman chose my TBR, and I absolutely love the Dead Romantics, so it made me cry. I'm hoping to absolutely love The 7 Year Slip. I probably won't read anything that Ashley Poston comes out with that's YA, but her adult, at least Dead Romantics, very good. So these are the 4 romances that I'll be reading for this vlog. Roll the vlog. I am 29% into The 7 Year Slip by Ashley Poston. So we are following Clementine in modern day? What am I trying to say? Present day New York. And her aunt recently died and she has taken over the apartment. It was left to her by her aunt. She works in publishing, all this cool stuff. So her aunt always said that the apartment was magic, and Clementine was like, yeah, whatever lady. But she goes back to the apartment and falls asleep and wakes up, and there is a man in her apartment, and he's saying that he's subleasing it from her aunt, and she realizes that she went back in time 7 years, and now I think it's Iwan, I-W-A-N. The audiobook is pronouncing it Iwan, I think. So Clementine obviously likes Iwan, and you know, he's hot and stuff, but something happened in the beginning of the story when it was still present day, and I have already connected it to when she goes back in time, and I don't know if I'm really smart or like Ashley Poston meant for me to do that, but like I'm excited about it. It's super cute so far. Like, I've already laughed. Ashley Poston is just like really fucking funny. Like, I absolutely love Dead Romantics because it was so funny. Like her main characters don't take themselves seriously. Like, they're basically hot messes. Like, Clementine is a hot mess, and whatever the main character's name in Dead Romantics was also a hot mess. And I just absolutely love that about Ashley Poston's books because I too am a hot mess, so it makes me feel grounded. So I'm really liking this so far. Like I said, like, did I figure out the twist already? I feel like it was, but that's fine. Like, it's a rom-com, they're gonna end up together, am I right? Okay, so I'm 54% into this, and this is gonna sound stupid but it's me. I didn't realize that, like, she only goes back in time 7 years in her apartment. So I was very confused when she was, like, going to work and, like, all her people knew her and stuff. And then I realized it only changes in the apartment. So that's important because in present day, not at the apartment, I guess, she meets Iwan again, and it's interesting. I'm really liking this. I'm liking this. I don't know if I'm liking it as much as the Dead Romantics, but like I'm only 54% in. Like what else is gonna happen? But like right now, if I had to choose, I would say I was liking the Dead Romantics more, but I'm still liking this. Does that make sense? But like this concept is just really cool, but I just want to say that I was personally confused, and it only changes in the apartment, and I feel like maybe that wasn't clear, or maybe I'm just dumb. I just got finished crying. I was gonna film this tomorrow when I had like makeup on and stuff, but like this is more raw. I just finished sobbing. I don't know, dude. So the way her grandmother died was very unexpected for me and really sad. And I listened to the author's note, and she said that she rewrote it after what happened to her grandfather. But like, even though it was so sad, it was also so happy. Like, I initially was crying because I was happy about the ending, and then I listened to the author's note, and then I was crying because that was sad. Anyway, I'm gonna give The 7-Year Slip 5 stars, and this is the best rom-com I've read this year. And I don't know what is wrong with Ashley Poston, but like, they're heavy. Dead Romantics was heavy too. In Dead Romantics, the main character's dad just died. Like, so Ashley Poston has something with characters dying. Sorry, I lost my framing. This book was really good, but I'm really sad. I am 27% into Forget Me Not by Julie Soto. I believe that this is the author's debut. It doesn't matter to me because I'm obsessed with this, which is saying a lot because I don't usually like books that center around weddings. I feel like I've read so many YA books that center around weddings, and I haven't really liked any of them. However, we are following Amma, who is a wedding planner, and she's doing it on her own. Like, she has her own company, and she just booked this big like YouTube influencer her wedding, and the bride, I think her name, I can't remember anyone's name. The bride wants the specific florist, who also happens to be Amma's boyfriend. I'm gonna say lover. I don't know what they were. Elliot. So we're getting Elliot's point of view, but it's from the past. So every time I've heard from Elliot, it's been like 3 years ago when Elliot and Amma have met for the first time. And then Amma's point of view is the present. So they have seen each other in the present and like have completely ignored each other. It was like really awkward. But I am absolutely loving this, which I think it's surprising. When I got this from my local bookstore, part of their All the Love book club that I am in, and I was a little bit worried about this because of the whole wedding thing, but I can tell you 27% in that I am already obsessed. Also, I believe this is another Rilo. Is that what it is? Rilo? Right? Star Wars thing, and that's what I know about that. And also it is blurred by Ali Hazelwood, who is like the queen of Rilo, that ship. So this is apparently another fanfic of that, which I know nothing about that, but if they're gonna be good romances out of that fanfic, then that's fine with me. I don't care. So I'm liking this so far. Hi, I'm absolutely obsessed with this. There have been several sex scenes, and they have been so good. like embarrassingly good. Like besides Fourth Wing, this is the second. Maybe they might be tied. Honestly, they might be tied because Fourth Wing didn't have that many sex scenes, maybe 2, and this has had like 4, and they're not even like technically together. I don't know. This might beat out Fourth Wing for the best sex scenes because I am just saying that they were really good. The chemistry between these two. I'm reading the best rom-coms right now. This video is going so well, and I've only read 2 books so far. But okay, let me talk about what's happened. So the best funny, it was kind of funny and kind of not, but she is allergic to peanuts, and he had a bite of a peanut butter donut, and she didn't know because she wasn't there, and then they started making out, and then she went into anaphylactic shock, and it was just like the most chaotic scene ever, and like it shouldn't have been funny, but the way it was written was hilarious, and I think that's how it was supposed to be, was hilarious, because he was like trying to take care of her and stuff. And then so they are working together on weddings because he's a florist and she's the wedding planner, and so I'm at his part mostly in the past, and that's where they like are casually hooking up and stuff. But I know that at some point there's going to be a big blow up that like they haven't talked to each other in like 2 years. So I wonder what the blow up was about. There've been like little like hints about what it is, and what I think has happened is that he wanted a relationship and she didn't, and so it just like blew up. This is one of the best books I've read all year, no joke. One of the best books I've read all year. This book is so good. So it only took 7 months, which is very unusual for me, but I found my favorite book of the year, and that is Forgive Me Not by Julie Soto. I'm obsessed with this book. I am literally obsessed. I don't know what I want to say. What I want to say is that even though I absolutely loved The 7 Year Slip, and this is still 5 stars, this would be like 6 stars if I could. Let me explain. I don't know. I never thought that I was a second chance girly, because I, once upon a time, when I was in my 20s, did a second chance romance. It did not work out well. It really fucked me up. So from personal experience, it has never been fun to read about second chances. So maybe I'm over it now. That would be great. But I am obsessed. And maybe I really like these Raylo, whatever ship that is, because I also absolutely loved The Love Hypothesis. And I absolutely love this too, and it's the same ship thing. But Elliot, the love interest, I am obsessed with him. I love everything about this man. I love that he was grumpy. I love that he like touch her and you die for Emma. I loved the Grumpy Sunshine. I loved everything about this book. This is my favorite book of the year. I'm obsessed with it. I did not think my favorite book of the year was going to be a rom-com, because I thought that I was moving away from rom-coms, and then all this month I was like, I cannot pick up thriller. I need some rom-coms in my life, and now this is my favorite book of the year. So I could still really love a thriller more than Strange Sally Diamond, but I like this book more than Strange Sally Diamond. So these are the 2 books that I've read so far for this video, and they have both been 5 stars, and I absolutely recommend both of them. This one made me sob. This one made me giggle. So I am obsessed. I'm obsessed with this book. Hey. So I'm like 100 pages into Business or Pleasure by Rachel and Solomon. Let me start by saying Rachel and Solomon is one of my favorite authors ever. The first book I read by her was Today, Tonight, Tomorrow, which is her YA, and which, in my opinion, is her best book, and it's really slept on. If you haven't read Today, Tonight, Tomorrow, I will read it because It's amazing. It's enemies to lovers as told in one day. Quite literally a perfect book. Anyway, but I am reading Business or Pleasure, and I am buddy reading this with Aoife, and we said that we would read 4 chapters a day, and I read 5, and I don't know how many she read, but the 4th chapter ended on a cliff. I was gonna say cliff mark. A who? A what? A cliffhanger. So she messaged me. She said, I'm gonna keep going. So I kept going. And that was 100 pages. Now, I want to show you a couple things because I pre-ordered this from the Rip Bodice. And it came with some stuff, which is super fun. So it came with this sticker that says Business and Pleasure. And I'm gonna tell you why it's Business and Pleasure, because now I get it. We have this cute thing, character art. I can't, the female main character, her name is Chandler, and then the redhead is Finn. And then I got this bookmark. Love a bookmark, but then the Rip Bodice also gave me a bookmark, so that's fun. And then I didn't realize when I got it that it was going to actually be personalized. So it says for Michelle, which is great. So I have a couple of her books signed now. Anyway, shut up. Okay. So Business or Pleasure is about Chandler, who is a celebrity memoir ghostwriter, which is fucking cool. And she is leaving the signing of her last ghostwritten books thing, and it doesn't really go well, and she meets this guy and they hit it off, and they have a one-night stand, and he is awful. He sucks at sex. She had a awful time. She really, really, really liked him, and then they started to have sex, and she was like, you suck at this. So then she left. And then the next morning she gets a call that someone would like her to ghostwrite their book, and he is an actor, and he was in this really big supernatural franchise in the late 2000s, and would like a book to be ghostwritten. And it's the dude she hooked up with, of course. So that's why it's Business and Pleasure, because where I am now, she has just told him that he did not do a good job, and it was awkward, and I feel bad for him, but also girl power to her for telling him that it was not good. So I am unsurprisingly absolutely loving this. Rachel and Solomon could write about Donald Trump and I'd read it, to be quite honest with you. If she was just I'm just gonna write a memoir about him, I'd probably read it, because I love Rachel and Solomon. So absolutely loving this so far. I am listening to the audiobook, and I could have sworn I had heard this audiobook narrator before, but this audiobook narrator has only done 6 books, and I have not read any of those other ones. So it's interesting. Maybe they just have a voice like that. I don't know, but so far so good. I have a prediction that this will be 5 stars. I am a little over 50% into Business or Pleasure. This is spicy. This is by far Rachel and Solomon's spiciest book, and I've read all of her books. I think the only ones I haven't read are her first 2 YA books, and that's just because I don't read YA anymore. Anyway, digress. This is very spicy. Chandler is literally teaching Finn what to do during sex, and they have watched each other masturbate and done other stuff, and if you know what tender chicken means, that's happened to me. So this is good. This is really good. As I think I said in my last update, I predicted this to be 5 stars, and I do think it will be 5 stars. However, no, there's no however. I want to say that 120 pages in, there was the X Talk reference, which is Rachel and Solomon's first adult romance. There was a reference to that book, and I literally screamed. It's so fast. If you blink, you miss it. Aoife missed it, and I went back and I told her about it, and she reread it. But I I will lay down my life for the X Talk. I love the X Talk. The X Talk is a great book, and I know people don't like it, but absolutely love it. It has to do with NPR, so that could be why I love it. But also the like reverse enemies to lovers. Fantastic. Anyway, Business or Pleasure probably will be 5 stars. I just like, I did not think it was going to be this spicy, and it is absolutely super spicy. I finished Business or Pleasure. Loved it. Still love Today, Tonight, Tomorrow the most. But this was absolutely Rachel Lynn Solomon's spiciest book ever. And I like marked this as read on Goodreads or whatever. And she says in her own review that this was her spiciest book ever. And it quite is. It like went above and beyond all of her books combined, which is great. I loved how sex positive this was. I loved that this did not hold back about talking about abortion. There is a whole like chapter about that. I love how like she did not hold back with the sex scenes at all. I'm giving this 5 stars. My review on Goodreads was just like 4 fire emojis, and then it also said, I feel validated for someone who sleeps in socks, so I sleep with socks on. And apparently that's weird, but the main character Chandler also does that. I absolutely understand why people probably will not like this one, but I absolutely loved it. I got a little emotional when the 2 characters got together, and that is not a spoiler because this is a rom-com and we know that they're gonna get together and live happily ever after, and that's what happened. But when they like finally decided to be together, I got a little emotional. So absolutely love this, 5 stars. I still think that Forget Me Not is my favorite book of the year. Even though this is 5 stars, I do still think Forget Me Not is better. So 5 stars for Business or Pleasure. Imagine if I give Love Theoretically 5 stars. That would be a full video of 5 stars. That would be amazing. I almost said 27 pages. I'm 27% into Love Theoretically, which is 100 pages. Now, I'm going to tell you what this book is about, but it's a lot. And I'm going to try not to sound dumb. Should I read the back? No. Okay, so we're following Elsie, who is an adjunct professor, and she wants to be a professor, like a real professor. So she is doing this job interview with her fake boyfriend's brother, who also happens to be as big as a refrigerator, super muscly, you know, is Allie Hazelwood. Anyway, so they do not like each other. And I forget his name. Hold on. Jack Smith is trying to figure out why Elsie like lied to his brother. But she like gets paid to fake date people. So like that's how it started, and then now they just hate each other, and she's interviewing for this job. And I know that it sounds easy, but it's actually kind of complicated and a lot is going on. So I'm definitely liking it, and I would say I'm liking it more than Love on the Brain, but not more than the Love Hypothesis. Oh my god, I cannot keep these titles straight. Whose idea was this? I think Love Hypothesis is top tier for me. And Love on the Brain was good. I gave 4 stars. I remember much about it. But I like Elsie better than I like whatever the fuck her name was in Love on the Brain. So I'm liking this a lot so far. I'm afraid it's not going to be a 5-star because it's not Love Hypothesis, but it could be. I am at 68% into Love Theoretically, so close to 69%. I feel like I personally have let Allie Hazelwood down by not being at 69%, but I'm obsessed with this. I think I said before that I already, like, at 20% like this more than Love on the Brain, and that is still correct. Like, I thought Love on the Brain was still good. Not as good as The Love Hypothesis, but like this is as good as The Love Hypothesis. And like that's saying a lot because I absolutely fucking adore The Love Hypothesis. Like The Love Hypothesis changed how I feel about romance books, and I thank it so much for that. So the two main characters are dating now, even though she like doesn't want to, but obviously he's obsessed with her and she just like doesn't get it. They never get it. But like he is obsessed with her and he wants to date her, and I just like, I'm laughing so much. I'm having a great time. Rowan's here. I'm sorry. I'm having a great time. So I already know this is gonna be 5 stars. It'll probably have a stupid third act breakup, but like I don't even care because it's still gonna be 5 stars. Like, you want to say hi?
Hi.
I finished Love Theoretically. Finally. It has taken me like over a week to finish this 300-page book, and it has to be a lot of things. I'm gonna be quite real with you. Let me fix this. Heartstopper came out, so that was a big mental low. You know, whatever. Anyway, I finished Love Theoretically, and this is my second favorite Ali Hazelwood, the first favorite being The Love Hypothesis. And what I really liked about this one was I absolutely loved Elsie. Like, Elsie was very flawed, and she knew it. And she was just like, I am a disaster. And you know what? I too am a disaster. So like, I really, really liked Elsie. And I'm not gonna lie to you, this had the exact same formula as The Love Hypothesis and Love on the Brain, where like the girl is completely oblivious to this man who just happens to be in love with her. That is the same exact shit that's been happening in the 3 books that I've read by Ali Hazelwood, and it doesn't even matter because I love it. I did like this one better than Love on the Brain. I actually thought, like, I really liked Love on the Brain, but I thought whatever the main character's name was in Love on the Brain was kind of annoying. And I did not feel this with Elsie. I obviously didn't feel it with Olive. So 5 stars for Love Theoretically. Let's do a wrap up because, hold on. All 4 of these books were 5 stars. And I found my favorite book of the year in this video. And let me tell you the drama of this. Hold on, let's do a wrap up. So the 7-year slip, I cried. I have the clip of me crying. I cried. I actually thought that this was going to be my favorite book of the year, and it still will be up there. It'll be in my top whatever of the year. But then I read Forget Me Not, which definitely my favorite book of the year. This just, I don't even like second chance romance, but I loved everything about this. And here's my big drama. This was the Afterlight pick for July, and I skipped my box because I was like, I need to save money. I don't know if I'm gonna like this book. I skipped it, and that ended up being my favorite book of the year. And then I had to scour the internet for that special edition copy of Forget Me Not, and I was stressing out, but I found it just a little bit above retail, but I got it, so whatever. Also 5 stars was Business or Pleasure by Rachel Lynn Solomon. Like I said, Rachel Lynn Solomon could write a book about Trump, and I'd probably read it. Not that she would. She absolutely would not, but this is my favorite adult by Rachel Lynn Solomon. Still my favorite Rachel Lynn Solomon is Today, Tonight, Tomorrow, which is YA, so whatever. And then Love Theoretically, which was absolutely 5 stars. I'm telling you, I was laughing so hard. And there also was a cameo of some people you might recognize in this one, and I absolutely love that. I was kind of sort of buddy reading this with Monica. We just happened to be reading it at the same time, so we were talking about it, and she like completely missed the cameo, and I was like, go back and reread this chapter. Anyway, so all 4 of these books I was very excited to read, and they were all 5 stars, and I had such a great time reading these. And a big shout out to Forget Me Not for being my favorite book of the year. It took me 7 months to find my favorite book of the year. Unheard of. So thanks for watching my video. Highly recommend these books if you're a rom-com girly. Just, even if you're not a rom-com girly, Lexi, Forget Me Not. Okay? Thanks for watching my video. See you in the next one. Bye.
Losing time, I'm fading fast.